Aikwe, Neknamalita, and I have something on my teeth. Hold on. Aikwe, Neknamalita, and this is my channel, The Midnight Librarian. Today I will be doing my January 2022 TBR. Oh my goodness, 2022. It's here. It's damn near here. It's Christmas Eve when I'm filming this, so happy holidays to all who celebrate, as well as Happy New Year. So yeah, this is my 2022 TBR. So hopefully by this time my 2022 goals are out and you can watch that. So my TBR, it's still going to be a little loose this month for January. For December, I'll link that in the cards as well as in the description down below. I mostly just I put up a TBR, but it was more of hopefuls, mostly because I very much just wanted to mood read, because it's the end of the year. I didn't want to put any pressure on myself, and it's the same with January. Now, the books that I put up for December, I can tell you now, I didn't read much of them, if any. You'll see that in my wrap-up, but a lot of them I still do want to read, so those are still on my TBR. If you want more information on that, like I said, I have my December TBR listed above as well as below. Otherwise, other things I would like to get to in the month of January will still very much be depending on my mood, but these are also some options that I would like to get to. One of those is the Buzzwordathon for 2022. Kayla has updated her Buzzwordathon list for 2022. I will list it down in the description down below, as well as her announcement video. This is something that I did for 2021. And I did it more of as a challenge to read some of my backlist books. I'm still planning on doing that for January. It is the 5 W's. That is who, what, when, where, and why. I have several. So the first is something that I do have physically. I just am not able to find it right now. But that is to capture what we cannot see. No. To capture what we cannot keep by Beatrice Collin. Now, this is a historical fiction book, which I typically tend to get more into in the wintertime. But we'll see if I'll be in the mood for it. I believe this is a World War II historical fiction. It is not. It is not set during World War II. This is actually set in 1887 while the Eiffel Tower is being built. We are following Katrina Wallace and Emile Gere. Basically, Katrina is I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, is a Scottish widow, and because of her financial standing, she has to be the chaperone for two wealthy Scottish charges. And then Emile is a French engineer who is expected to take over his family business, as well as to find a stable wife. This is a historical romance. It's during a time that feels unstable. There's controversy over the Eiffel Tower being built. I've had this for a bit now. Next, I have What Dreams May Come by Richard Matheson. I believe this was also on my TBR for January of last year for 2021, because the Buzzwordathon word for January 2021 was dream. I didn't get to it then because it does have to deal with suicide. This is the book version of the movie What Dreams May Come, featuring Robin Williams. I love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I haven't watched it in a couple of years because of the suicide the topic of suicide. It hits a little too close to home now. It's one of those movies where I have to really be in a particular mood if I want to watch it. It's like being okay with crying. I'm wondering if I'll necessarily be in the mood for this book. It's something that I don't know if I'll be in the mood for. I've heard the book is actually a bit boring comparatively to the movie, but I don't know that for sure. The cover I'm not sold on at all. But basically we are following a young man who ends up getting killed in a car accident and finds that he is in the afterlife. Basically, he is trying to figure out how to live in this afterlife in his own heaven, and what that means for him. And yeah, basically but he's really concerned about his wife because they had unfortunately lost their children earlier in their lives, and he's really worried about the stability of his wife. So that's all I'll say for now. I'm not sure if like the movie followed the book to a T necessarily. So already when I have started this book before, and for I will remember it wasn't quite as didn't quite follow the movie as closely. I don't know. So this is to be determined. Next, I have What Should Be Wild by Julia Fine. I believe Kayla also read this one. I don't remember what she thought of it. In this darkly funny, striking debut, a highly unusual young woman must find a curse that has plagued the women in her family for millennia. An utterly original novel with all the mesmerizing power of the tiger's wife, the snow child, and Swamplandia. We are following Maisie Kothe, who has never known the feel of human flesh, born with the power to kill or resurrect at the slightest touch. She has spent her childhood sequestered in her family's manor at the edge of a mysterious forest. Maisie's father, an anthropologist who sees her as more of an experiment than a daughter, has warned her not to venture into the wood. Locals talk of men disappearing within, emerging with addled minds and strange stories. What he does not tell Maisie is that for millennia her female ancestors have also vanished into the wood, never to emerge, for she is descended from a long line of cursed women. I remember purchasing this a couple years ago from Barnes & Noble, and it was more of a cover buy than anything because it's a gorgeous cover. Next, I have What Would Frida Do by Ariana Davis, A Guide to Living Boldly. This follows this is a nonfiction that Ariana Davis explores the Latinx and feminist icon's signature style, outspoken politics, passionate love life, and courageous art, even in the face of pain and heartbreak. This book celebrates a woman who loved deeply and lived ambitiously, refusing to remain in the shadow of her famous mural husband, Diego Rivera. So this one, I also had a 2021 TBR, I believe, at one point or another, and just wasn't able to get to it. I'm still very eager to get to it. Next is Written in Bone, Hidden Stories in What We Leave Behind. This by Sue Black. This is another one that I had on my 2021 TBR at some point or other. I actually had gotten this as an e-arc from NetGalley and just wasn't able to get to it. I would still very much like to get to it. It's a book I am still very much interested in. It's a nonfiction written by Professor Dame Sue Black, and her research and experience with forensic science and what bones leave behind at crime scenes and what they can tell us. So I'm very interested in this and would still very much like to get to it. And finally, for Buzzword-a-thon, I have The Nowhere Girls. Where is in the title. This is by Amy Reed. I've heard a lot about this in terms of how people feel about it. I've heard good things. But I don't really know what it's about. I got this particular cover a while ago. I actually really like the pink of it and the design of the female symbol. We are following Grace as she figures out that the former occupant of her new home was run out of town after accusing the popular guys at school of rape. And Grace and her friends pledge to get justice for her. They form an anonymous group, the Nowhere Girls, to fight back against the abuse and misogyny that female students have suffered at the hands of students and teachers alike, transforming the lives of its members, their school, and the entire community. I lied, that was not the last one. This is the last one, When Diplomat Richie. I posted earlier this month these books will self-destruct in 12 months. This was one of the books on that list. Basically, if I don't get to 12 books within 12 months, I have to unhaul them because I've had them for a while now, and this is giving me a push to hopefully get them off my shelf. So this, I think, would be a good time to read When Diplomat Richie, which is a YA, I think it was contemporary romance. We're following Dipl Shah, who has it all figured out. With graduation behind her, she is more than ready to take a break from her family, particularly after her mama's inexplicable obsession with finding her that ideal Indian husband, and she ends up attending a summer program for aspiring web designers, which she feels is a kind of a clue that maybe her parents have finally given up on finding her the ideal Indian husband, only for Rishi Patel to be a hopeless romantic. And so when his parents tell him that him and his future wife will be attending the same summer program where he'll have to woo her, he's totally on board. The Shahs and Patels didn't mean to start turning the wheels on the suggested arrangement so early on in their child's lives. But when they noticed them both gravitating toward the same summer program, they figured, why not? So Dimple and Rishi may think they have each other figured out, but when opposites clash, love works hard to prove itself the most unexpected ways. Of the books on that on that self-destruct video are books that I bought because of BookTube. This one was talked about for a while. I know that there's several companions that come after this at this point. They have all interested in me as well, but I haven't bought them because I bought this one and haven't gotten to it yet. So I really want to see if Sandhya Menon is someone that I would like to read from. And then I also want to get to this pile of books that's kind of a secret TBR though, so I'll just give you a brief kind of look at them. This was inspired by Kayla's want to do a bunny themed readathon, or not readathon, a bunny themed reading vlog in the later part of 2022. And I kind of took the idea of like, oh, reading vlog surrounding like a particular theme of books and ran with it. So my hope is that I'll be able to do this consistently month by month, just because I noticed that there were a couple things I could theme up within my physical TBR. So I have 5 books here that have a particular theme to them, what I would call my priority for January, because I want to be able to get this done. However, in 2021, I noticed particularly, I haven't done my stats yet, but I have heavily relied on audiobooks. I haven't been able to do much physical reading, and all these books I have physically, and I cannot find audiobooks for them. So that scares me. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do. So yeah, these are the books that I hope to get to for January 2022 as well. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not putting too much pressure into myself for this, aside from the secret TBR, because I tend to go into the beginning of the year overthinking, like, what's my first book of the year going to be? So it's very much just going to be a mood read, aside from the secret TBR. So I don't know how this is going to work. Oh my goodness, already pressure. What are your plans for 2022? I'm excited to hear. What do you plan on reading? If you've read any of these, let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below. Yeah, otherwise, I hope that you are doing well. Hope you are in the mental mindset to enjoy your reading. And I will see you in my next video very soon. Chew.